and welcome to the Hawaii County Committee on the Status of Women Talk Story. I'm Shauna Kukila, and we're here with Lehua Martinez and her daughter, Savannah. Aloha.
Aloha.
Hi.
This is a year to honor and support and advocate for mothers in Hawaii County. So we're here to talk to you about what it is like to be a mother on this island and in this community, as well as what it's like to be a kid in this community, a child of a mom that has been born and raised here on this island. So why don't you introduce yourselves?
Aloha again, everyone. My name is Lehua Martinez. I was actually born at Queens Hospital, but raised on the Big Island. I grew up in a small community north of Kona. It's called Pu'uanahulu. It used to buffer right up next to Pu'uva'awa'a Ranch, which I believe now is not an active ranch, but we do a lot of, they have DLNR up there and a lot of things going on for preservation. So, but growing up there was really different. I want to say we were kind of in the middle of Kona and Waimea. Um, our family was ranchers slash fishermen. So it was interesting to see what goes on up on the ranch. And then on the weekends, we'd head down to Kiholo, where my grandfather was also a caretaker. So it was really a fun childhood when I was small because getting both worlds wrapped into one. During the week, we're up on the homestead and the ranch, and then on the weekends, we'd be down in Kiholo. He was an avid fisherman. He would always teach me about the water, and he'd go holo holo, or he'd catch whatever we're eating for dinner that night. So I just thought it was really interesting to grow up that way. I actually went to Kealakehe Elementary and Intermediate, and later on was able to attend Honolulu's Kamehameha High School. So that was really a good experience, I want to say, for me, going away and actually becoming independent and learning to be self-sufficient. Coming home during the summers, I was always ready to work, get involved with different things during the summer, be community sports. Again, for us, community, because I lived in Pu'uanahulu, meant us going all the way into Kailo Kona and going to the parks and rec areas, or at that time we had, which is still there, but we had Queen Liliuokalani Children's Trust. So we'd go there and do summer programs. As I got older, I hooked up with Alulike, which would help me get summer jobs as well. So that was really great. I didn't have to worry. By junior year, I know I'd come home during the summer and I'd already have something set up for the whole summer. So that was really good. And they were great. I mean, they would help the high school kids experience things that would be real life. So I was privileged enough, I thought at that time, and I still think it was great. I got to work as a secretary. I got to work as in an immigration office. I mean, things that a high schooler might not be able to experience. And it really trained me on what's out there, what I can expect when I go into adulthood, and learn things that I might need later as I get older and graduate from high school and so forth. So Kamehameha was great, though. It got you ready for school. It taught you how to be independent, and then college prep. By senior year, I was ready to try it. I said, okay, we'll try it. I didn't want to go too far. I didn't want to cut the tie yet. I wanted to stay in the islands. I wasn't that adventurous. So I just stayed in Oahu, ended up going to Hawaii Loa College, which I believe now is no longer in existence, but I think it's part of HPU, I think took it over. I'm not sure. But living on that side of the island was beautiful. I love the Kaneohe Kailua side. I mean, just the greenness of it, the lush. and you're not right in town where all the chaos would happen, downtown Honolulu or Waikiki. But on this island, it I have to say, just growing up was an adventure. A lot of the things we didn't have now, people that are younger than us, probably this bottom highway, Queen Ka'ahumanu, Highway 19, and the Akonipule Highway. A lot of that wasn't around until we were older. So the only road we had was Mamalahoa Highway, 190. You'd have to take that to go anywhere on the island. So I remember taking that road. We would go around to Waimea, to Honoka'a, over into Hilo and Mountain View. We actually had family on that side of the island. And it was always a family journey. And it was like, okay, we're going to stop here for dinner. We're going to stop here and check this place because grandma had certain spots she knew she wanted to stop at to pick up things on the way. Even coming to North Kohala was a venture because you only had Kohala Mountain Road at that time. So that was our roller coaster ride coming down because it's twisty, it's turny, and getting into Kohala, and it's a whole different atmosphere out here. It's kind of like they're rural, they're out of the way, and it was a different pace. But we used to love traveling all around the island. I remember we'd hit Honau, we'd hit Kealakekua, then Kona, and then of course Hilo, and just making our way all the way around the island. Kind of miss that nowadays. You don't really have that time, and when you do have the time, you're constantly looking at your watch because you're already trying to plan. We have to get here, we have to get there. It's not like when I was little, it seemed like there was no time. It didn't matter. You just, you did the family thing. You cruised, you went holo holo, you just did the drive. And there wasn't any time clock to be worried about. Nowadays everything just seems a little bit more fast paced. You have to keep up, you have to keep moving. There's leisure time kind of doesn't, I don't know what leisure time is anymore, because I always tell people when you go on vacation, you're going to have to come back and take another vacation from vacation, right? Because you just can't. I mean, total unwinding is really hard to do nowadays, just because of what's going on around us. Yeah. So I don't know. I remember life being simpler, a lot simpler, and it wasn't as complicated as it is now, where you're either fighting traffic or you're at work all day, and then you come home and you got chores and things. It just seems simpler. Again, I was much younger, so obviously I didn't realize a lot of these things would kick in later in life, right? But you go with it, you learn from it, right? So
Oh, thanks,
Uh,
Lehua. That's a good walk down memory lane, man. Did you hear that story
it
before,
is, it
Savannah?
is, it yeah.
So, Savannah, what about you? How does it feel growing up on Hawai'i Islands? Where do you go to school?
I'm a junior at Kohala High. It's very small. It's a big island, but very small. There's not really much to do, honestly. It's not. I don't really go anywhere, so um, but it's just really small. Cause you kind of see the same people every day. You go to the same places every day, take the same road every day. So nothing new. They're very different from when my parents were kids, as they always tell me the stories. But I like it here.
I'm really lucky that Savannah's at this age now where, she's self-sufficient to a certain degree. She can help me a lot. um, I have to say much blessings and thank yous to my in-law side, because they helped with my older children when they were younger. So again, extended family, everyone helped out each other. So my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, They would always watch the kids for us, and it for me, being working parent and my partner is a working parent, it really helps. In the beginning, we kind of traded off. So my partner would work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. I would do the night shift. So we didn't need babysitting. That really helped. I could be at home all day with them, and then we just trade off. That worked fine. Um, Nowadays, it's a lot harder because of people's scheduling. Um, I know a lot of people that work more than one job. So I think that extended family comes into play for a lot of people like us. For me, I work, we get up 6, 7 o'clock. She usually is really good about making breakfast, if she wants to eat something. If not, we do protein shakes or breakfast smoothies, something quick we can get out the door with. Um, Once I drop her off, then it's straight into work. And work for me, I am a manager. Under me, I have a team of 20 that we take care of between me and my other manager I work with. So once I get to work, they become my extended work family. They're my work family. I am there usually from 9 in the morning till 9 at night. It really depends on the day and how it goes. Again, if someone calls out or something happens, I might have to stay longer. There has been instances where I end up making my day, instead of a 10 to 12 hour day, it becomes a 24-hour day because I'm covering for my overnight shift who unfortunately got sick or called out, whatever the case might be. So it's a challenge. Every day is different. We try to keep in contact, me and her. I mean, she texts me, okay, I'm going to practice, or I'm at home. That way, once I get home, then we can kind of play catch up with each other on our days, and we can be sounding boards for each other if we need to vent or express our feelings for that day, right? So we kind of bounce off of each other, and it really helps. For her, I feel really bad because I'm not there a lot. But when I am there, we try to make it the best we can, right? So, and she knows mom's doing what she has to do because paying the bills, keeping the lights on, putting the food on the table, that's what mom needs to do. So, but she knows it. I'm only a phone call away if I'm not at home. So, our day can be pretty hectic. Today's chore day. I'm off, so today was chore. She's helping, and then we have practice tonight, her volleyball practice. So it's just, we just kind of go with it, and then come home tonight 7:30. Oh, dinner. Okay, we'll have dinner now.
Oh, that sounds like a really average schedule for the working mom.
I think it is. I think it is a lot of, and I was never a 24/7 mom. I wish I could have been, but we got to pay the bills, we got to whatever we have to do. So I give all my aloha to the 24/7 moms, because that is a job in itself, to organize your time and patience all day with your little ones or whoever you're taking care of during the day. And manage the house, and manage whatever else you have to do. That is a job in itself. So I have to figure out and fit it in where I can, to do chores and do family time, or do just mommy daughter time. So I give definitely 24/7 moms, you are at the top of the list, definitely.
Oh, that's sweet. Reminds me of my mom too when I was small, because I went to Kamehameha as well. And so our days were very long with riding the bus to school
The
and back.
bus, yep.
And I don't think we saw our parents very much, probably more in the dark time than the daytime. So,
You wake up, it's dark. You come
yeah,
home, it's dark. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Did you
So
live? Did you live far away? Did
I
you
lived
live
in
far
Connie.
away from school?
I lived in
Oh,
Connie.
okay. So you're one of the 6 o'clock pickups or 6:30 or something like that. Yeah, we have cousins in Laie. So their bus ride to Kamehameha is a long journey. And then if they played sports, it was even longer because we wouldn't see them come home till late evening. So yeah,
Well, a lot of times too, I think that parents are having to wait in town or wait for the kids, right?
to be
So
done.
your day doesn't end until your child's day ends too. So,
Yeah.
so what
Yeah.
I was gonna say is, Savannah, what do you think of these long days, and what do you do to maybe you could tell us a little bit about your schedule and how you help your mom out, and what kind of things what are your thoughts on all of this work and home life?
Um, very tiring, very tiring. Is I come home from practice around 8 sometimes, depending on who's picking me up. And it's like once I come home, I have to shower and do homework, and then I wait for my mom to come home. Especially, it gets even longer if there's no dinner, because then I have to cook,
That's a big
or
help.
I wait till my mom comes home because she brings home food, or I just don't eat at all because I'm just lazy.
Well, you're a
But
very busy person, right?
I think other ways I'll help my mom is by taking care of my people in the house, mostly my grandma, because
We have
she's
extended family. My mother-in-law and my sister-in-law live with us.
yeah.
So usually she's at home with them in a late afternoon before practice and in the evening. So she's a big help with them if she needs to clean the kitchen or help with dinner. Dad, her dad works a graveyard shift, so he's usually sleeping when in the evenings. Um, we are also really active with Pop Warner. He's currently the Pop Warner Association president for our area in Kohala. So that's been pretty busy this past couple of weeks already, with the games we've been hosting, as well as making sure, just trying to help him out as best we can with our schedules as well. So, yeah,
Because it sounds like you guys have a good system, even though it's tiring.
it is. It is.
It's a season, right?
Yeah.
It's a season in life. Things will get better.
I
Yes.
think because school just started too, everybody's still trying to get used to what's going on by schoolwork, time management, sports, and everything else going on. Yeah, so
Yeah. So,
they were happy for fall break this week, though. You could see it in all
oh,
the kids' faces. They were just waiting for fall break.
oh
Yeah.
my. So yeah, and you really do need that break because summer's too short. So
Mm-hmm.
well, my next question comes off of that, I guess. We're gonna switch gears just a little bit. Because you're a manager, Lehua, can you
Hmm.
tell us about what you see for the moms at work and their challenges and how it's challenging for you as a manager to retain mothers or people who have families? What?
It, it's really hard to have that balance at work sometimes. Um, a lot of the companies you work for are corporatized, so rules, regulations are pretty black and white. But I think here in Hawaii, our culture pulls a lot into these companies just because it's Hawaii. Everyone here, everything's about family. To a certain degree, you want to make sure they're taken care of. And my group that I have is a wide mix. I have a lot of grandparents. No, they're empty nesters already. Then I have a couple of young boys that basically just graduated during COVID. So they're trying to find their place. They're trying to see where they can go. My in between are my millennials, and they are young families still with young children in the house. It's trying to be understanding with them and try to encourage them because I want them to stay with me, but again, I want them to remember their family. If they're having a problem, they need to figure that out first because it'll just come into work, and that's not where you want it to be, you know. So we actually, the people all that work with me, majority of them are tenured. So I am one of the oldest. I've been with them probably 26 years, and my younger boys are about a year now. But everyone above them is at least 5 to 8 years already with us. So my turnover is not that high. I think a lot of them fell in love with the people we work with because our family there at work, again, we have disagreements, we don't get along some days, but the end result is we're here to do a business, we're here to do a job, we're here in hospitality, we need to take care of the guests in front of us. Yeah, so it's hard when you're a mother, it really is. It's hard when you're a dad because you have other responsibilities. um, I had, my team, one of my team members, she was going through a really hard time. I mean, breakup, family court, all kinds of stuff, And I told her, I said, you need to take a couple of days off. We will take care of here. You need to take some days off and get your ducks in order, basically, start planning what you need to do next. Because she'd be at work and she's not at work. She might be physically there, but mentally she's not because she's worried about personal stuff. If I can do that for them, I will, because I'd rather them stay with me, be good, and be whole rather than stay with me and be 10% there and 90% somewhere else, you know. So I think, I feel that our team that I have at work, that's why they stay, because they appreciate the effort we try to put in to show them that we like them here, we want them here, we want them to stay, we appreciate them, that they turn around and they end up giving it their all. I mean, just to have the people I have that have been there tenured already, it's 5 years and up, that's pretty good, I think, for a business. And for us, a lot of the people in general at our area have been there a long time, because we started out small, then we grew, and they still liked the company and liked what was given to them and the people. They didn't want to leave. So we've just been really, really lucky as a company. And I think our general manager sees that. He sees how connected we are with housekeeping and maintenance and, you know, the other people that work in the company. We just all have this connection. Again, it's business. We might have our disagreements, but we always come to an agreement at the end, and we get the job done. And tomorrow's a whole nother day. What happens today is going to be totally different tomorrow. So, you know, mothers now, though, it's hard. It was always a challenge because I have three children. My two older ones would call me at work, Mom, you can help with the homework. And I'm like, I'm at work. And they're like, well, I just need you to help me answer a question. And I'm like, okay, you know, and they'd read a question to me and I'd be like, okay, da 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 da, here's the answer. Okay, I gotta go. I'm at work. But, we'd figure ways out how we can help each other. I even had other housekeepers calling me at work. Our housekeeping team at one time were Spanish speaking. I had a few Spanish speaking housekeepers. They would have their children call me at work because the children didn't understand the English questions. They were having a hard time. And it wasn't no fault of the parents or the school. It was just, this is, they had to learn the language. They were primarily spoken to in Spanish at home, but now they're going to an English school, So, but these kids grew up and they're like, they just went for it, and they see me now and they're adults now, but they see me now and they're like, oh my God, Auntie, I remember when I called you at 9 o'clock at night and you were trying to help me. And, when they were young children still learning English, when they were having to take English and they didn't understand what is the order of the sentence or what does that word mean. So, I mean, it's all of us just helping each other. It really is. And it doesn't matter my team or the next team, meaning housekeeping or maintenance. If they need help, they just ask us and we all come together. So, like I said, that's my second family, my work family. So, we all try to help each other out.
I like that because a lot of times in the visitor industry, it's a very high turnover. People are coming in and out of jobs.
It
They
is.
don't feel
Yeah.
valued.
I think we're just lucky. And the people that have left on good terms because they were young, they wanted to venture out. And I have no problem with, I keep telling them, if you see another job you want to try, by all means, because that's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to see where you fit, where your place is going to be, So I have no problem. This is a starting point for them, and I love them coming. They can learn from us. They can learn from my older team members who are tenured and have been there, and then they can feel out where their place is, where can I go now, and they always end up leaving us, and they'll come back sometimes, and then sometimes they'll just, I'm doing great, I did it, and we're like, great, I'm not going to hold you somewhere for 20, 30 years just because, I want you to do what you want to do and make sure it's something you enjoy. This was just your jumping point, basically. So, and we're just lucky that way, I think. I mean, all the people I've had with us and the ones I do have, they are just great people, and every day we always tell them that, just to encourage them, because every day is hard, can be hard. I mean, you get guests coming in who aren't happy, and then you get something happen that's beyond your control. So, I always tell them, just come in the back office, you can yell and scream, let it out, and then we'll be all good. We can go back outside and deal with it and make it right as best we can, make it right for them, so.
Oh, well, I used to work at the Ala Hotel. So I know that you have to have a certain amount of professionalism no matter what, even when
Yeah,
someone's yelling at you. So
yelling and screaming. Yeah.
so it takes a lot, and
It,
especially if you have things on your mind at home and you got kids and
yes,
everything, and you're thinking, you're yelling at me and you have no idea what I'm going through at, in my own personal life. And, sometimes it's a little hard to deal with that because you're having to be in a service industry and put your best face forward. So I give you
I
guys credit.
know. Yeah. It is a challenge, and in a way it's a good challenge every day, because then you can test yourself, try to focus on it, right? But then some days are harder than more. Some days can be hard, some days are, you're just not into it. So those kind of days, we just kind of bring them in the back. We mali mali them little while, and just make them comfortable and make them feel that it's okay. You can do what you have to do, we'll get it done, and then let them try to get through the day. If they really cannot, then it's kind of like, then maybe you should go home, go take a break, because you need to reset yourself, because we've had people calling us sometimes, they're crying, they're upset. I'm like, you know what? Don't even come in. I understand. You just need a day off. Take a break. We'll figure it out, Then they can just get themselves put back together, because hospitality is not easy. It is not. Every time I interview someone for whatever position it is, I always try to be as honest as possible. It's a great job, but you're going to have those days where people will challenge you. And for some reason, they know the new people. They will know who's new, and they will come purposely to that person and try to push that button, and see how much they can get out of them. So it's a challenge. Funny though, because I am not upper, I'm middle management. So I have a boss above me, and then the GM and all of that. And then even our position, again, we have a bunch of people under us that we take care of, but then all the stuff we have to do on top of that, that's unfortunate with the job, but it just goes with the job as well. You end up being the caretaker outside at the front of the house, and then in the back you're the caretaker of all the paperwork. So, you have to make sure, okay, did I get everything done? Are we set for tomorrow? Did everybody punch in and out? Did I put in everybody's holiday pay? And it's kind of like, okay, time management. You have to try and figure it out. And before you know it, the sun went down. The sun went down, and you're still trying to figure out some stuff.
It sounds like you're a mom at work too.
Yeah, but I think that goes with the position, because you are their manager, you have to a certain degree. You're their manager, and their mom and their dad and whoever else you have to be, just to help them get through the day and make sure they have the tools they need to make their day work, Either it be physical tools or uniforms, or just the emotional support they might need because they're having a challenging guest, right? So,
Well, speaking of challenging guests, I was going to ask Savannah, what do you think is the most challenging thing about growing up today? And then maybe mom can follow up with what her challenges are as far as raising you, and what she hopes for the future for you.
Um, I think the most challenging thing that's for me is bullying, because bullying is in many different forms, not just physical or verbal. It could be body shaming. It could be maybe mental. Um, Maybe not loving yourself because you can do self harm to yourself, and just thinking all those negative thoughts. Many people think that bullying is just physical stuff, but most of the time it's really not. It can be there and you don't notice it.
Yeah, that makes me think of that movie, Mean Girls. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies because I like to see the Mean Girls go down.
Yeah.
I think it's more prevalent now. I mean, it's been in every age group, but now it's so different just because what the kids have gone through. You know, this whole
Yeah,
two
with
and a half to
social
three
media.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
2.5 to 3 years, and social media is exponentially blown off the charts already. I mean, these kids have access to things that we never even grew up with. For us, it was more face to face type things and talking and calling on the telephone. Now these kids can just jump on the computer, jump on their phone, and they're exposed to everything and anything, right? So um it's hard for them, and I think a lot of them to just it's that struggle you go through emotionally as a teenager, probably, finding yourself and your clique and getting along with everybody, fitting in to a certain degree, right? I have to give her credit though. A lot of her friends are athletes, but a lot of her friends are not athletes. I mean, she seems to get along with a lot of people. They all know her. She's one of those that you don't mind having with you wherever you go because she'll take care of you. She's almost like the mom of the group. So whenever they're out together, she makes sure they got all their bags. She makes sure they're all accounted for. She actually does head counts when she's in groups because she wants to make sure everybody is close by and they're not wandering off, or they make it back in time. So it's kind of funny, but I think that's just her nature, her nurturing nature. Um, she does that even with the little kids when we're at a game and they come, her niece and nephew come by her with their cousins and friends. She'll make sure she's got all of them, and she'll kind of play mother goose and just make sure they're all there, right? So it's kind of funny, but I love to see that in her because it tells me eventually she will be a mother herself, and she's already in that mode of making sure people are okay and taking care of the people around her. So, and she deals very well, I'm surprised, with the bullying and those kind of things at school. She won't stand for it. I mean, she will just pretty much go up to someone who is bullying and she will just tell them, you need to stop. It's not right, and she'll defend that other person. She might not know them very well, but she knows what's being done to them is not right. So she will say something. She won't get violent, she won't get physical, but she will just verbally say something. You need to stop. That's not right, you know. And I think that's why a lot of the people at her school like her, because she's that type of person. She's not going to be violent. She's not going to be sarcastic. She's gonna, you need help, I'll help you. Just ask, I'll help you. You know.
So Savannah,
Yeah,
what
she's laughing because she doesn't see herself like that, but I see it and I hear it from a lot of people. So
she has a humble heart. What do you want to
yeah.
be when you grow up, Savannah?
Right now I have three future careers. Like I'm in the in between. I want to be an EMT, a mechanic, or a specialist in La'au La'au.
So
Mm,
does that mean that you'll
that's a
go?
lot of stuff. Actually, she
So
could probably do it all at one of the schools, though. I don't see why not. She could do that at UH Hilo, UH Manoa. That's a big possibility.
you have a lot of time left. You can do it all.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was just gonna ask you the last question, and that is, what is your folks, each of you, your definition of Ohana, and what makes a happy, healthy, safe home, in your opinion, separately? So, whoever wants to start.
You can.
Okay. Um, I think my definition of Ohana can be everything because it doesn't just have to be your family at home. It could be maybe your teammates, your friends, your friend's family, like their family, your work family, your school family. It can be anything. And a healthy, safe home. I don't know how to describe that, but I think it's just making sure everyone is okay, you know, checking up on each other here and there. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Well, Ohana, again, Ohana means family. We all know that. It definitely to me means that extended family. Um, Never to be afraid of asking for help if you need it, because your next door neighbor might be the best family member you have, and you wouldn't even know it unless you actually ask. It's hard. I know a lot of people grew up being, no, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna fix it myself, or you don't want to inconvenience anybody. But nowadays, Ohana is not just your blood, not just your immediate. It has to do with that extension, that community. Again, the neighbor next door or the people up the street. We all have to take care of each other now. There's no way around that with everything going on around us. Um, that's how we make ourselves stronger, as well as our community. You know, our Ohana here, my immediate family, again, like I said, if I didn't have them, it would have been really, really hard with the kids. So that was, and I'm happy because a lot of families don't have that. I see a lot of young couples that it is just husband and wife. They don't have mom and dad, or they don't have grandma and grandpa, and it's a struggle for them. They can't be afraid to ask for help. They have to reach out to their friends, their might even just be the neighbor, or maybe making a connection in the community with someone who can put them with a great auntie and uncle that can help them out, or a community group that can help them along. It's I think that's the only way we have to go now. Ohana can't be just the blood anymore. It has to be more than that, because it's getting harder. And our kupuna right now, definitely, we have to start thinking about them, because once they leave here, we'll never get to have them again. And even if it's just taking the little ones to go visit them, that connection, you can see the life come in them, that their eyes start sparkling. They wake up when they see the little kids come around, because that brings them back to life. They need that excitement, that drive, because sometimes they don't have that. They're at home all day. Luckily we have good outreach programs in every community nowadays for the elderly, that give them that extra outings and excursions and gatherings that they can get together. Yeah. um for me and her, it's always been our extended families. It has been, and again, a lot of it is blood oriented, meaning on my husband's side, his family has helped us so much. My family, unfortunately, all live somewhere else. I have family out in HPP side, and then I have family in Nevada, but nobody immediately close by. I have one aunt, and just trying to make time to go see her is so hard. And she only lives down the road. Well, down the road, meaning in Waikoloa, but it's just hard because we're busy, So, I mean, trying to make that connection, because when people pass away, it's hard. I encourage everybody, the younger generation should sit with their kupuna and record them. Do a recording of a discussion with them, either it be a story or reminiscing, anything to that effect. Because 20 years from now, when you watch it, you will be amazed, and you will be awed by how great your grandparents were. You know, I made my sons do that. I made them do that with their grandmother, my mother-in-law. I made them do that as a project for them, and they didn't realize how much appreciation they would get out of it and how much their grandparents enjoyed it. You know, just sitting down and talking, and they were actually videotaped or recorded. I can't remember which one it was, but they enjoyed it. They really enjoyed talking about their life with them, because our kids will never see that. They will never understand that. They'll see pictures of it, they'll see old films, and they will never understand what their grandparents went through growing up. Plantation days, basically, you know, or during some war, either be Vietnam War or South Korean War, or whatever war grandma or grandpa were involved in. So that's my version of Ohana, is we just need to keep it going, keep it recorded, keep it, you know, because when I pass away, I want her to remember what happened in my lifetime, you know, and what happened in her grandma's lifetime. I think that's what Ohana is going to end up being, is us making sure we keep those stories and things alive. That'll keep us all connected, from the past, the present, and the future, right? It'll keep us all connected with our ancestors that left us, and then all the new ones that are going to be coming from wherever they're coming from, you know, her kids and or maybe her grandkids later. So, although
Oh,
we
that's
kind of too
beautiful.
young, we don't want to think about that yet, but
It's
you
beautiful.
know, it's something.
Yeah, so I want to thank you so much for spending time with us. I know you have to go to your what is
Oh yeah,
your volleyball
volleyball,
Yeah.
volleyball, yeah.
volleyball practice. Good luck with that. Um, so thank you very much. We really appreciate your time today because um, not everybody is so open to share their life. So thank you for giving us just a little bit of a mo'olelo about your life and what's going on with you folks in
I mean, my version was always, you know, if we were meant to have a perfect life, we would all be in the Garden of Eden already. We wouldn't have all this stuff, right? So, I mean, this is just a journey. That's all it is. It's a journey. So, what we do with the journey is up to us. But yet, at the same time, you know, we want to involve the ones we love with us, right? So, whether the journey is good or bad, it's all just a journey. That's what it is. It's a journey. So, it's what we decide to do with it. So, I mean, like I said, I really want to go back to school. So that's something I have to start thinking about, and reading all these stories about old people older than me going back to school. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can. I just have to figure out where I can fit it in.
yeah, your busy schedule over there. You'll never see a daughter. You gotta go to school with her. Maybe that's the time you go when she goes to college.
She's kind of like, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
I've seen a lot of families do it. When I used to go to Windward Community College, they would have the young one go with the kupuna, and the mom ends up coming because everybody like learn. So they take they
Wow.
Hawaiian classes, they take Hawaiian language, they take la'au lapa'au, they take that kind of classes together. And then it branches off to more things. So the young one brings the kupuna to the college and then
That's
all learn
good though,
together.
because
Yeah.
you learn from them too. Because again, life experiences has a lot to do with the learning structure, right? So the kupuna can tell you all their life experiences and how they used that plant growing up, or how they did this when they were growing up. I mean, I think it just brings a different dynamic to the learning structure, right? Because that's what makes it interesting. It's not just textbooking, and it's not just the younger teachers trying to teach the kids. You know, you bring that older kupuna in, and they will give you that life lesson that you never realized you needed, you know. So
Yes. And I just want to thank you too because as Makua, yeah, we're going into this kupuna stage after. So we
yep.
want to bring our keiki up so that they're gonna come into the Makua stage. So it looks like you're doing a really good job, my Ka'iloa with Savannah, because she's She's got a lot of
Yeah.
good values of aloha, kuleana, yeah, malama. She has all those values. So mahalo for that because you're raising the next generation. And she's already taken care of of her grandparents who took care of her too. So it's a nice full circle, yeah.
That's all you can hope for and wish for, I guess. Because you want them to be good pono adults.
Ho'omanawanui.
You want them to just do the right thing as much as they can. And again, you make mistakes, you make mistakes. We're not perfect, but that's where you learn, right? Gonna be tough, but you're gonna learn, right? And it's only gonna make you better, right? And then she just said it right now, because mom always says ho'omanawanui. So we want to be patient. We want to be accepting. We want to open ourselves up to new things. Might not be good things, but it's new things and we learn, right? So we ho'omanawanui and we push on every day. We might have some crying in between and some yelling and screaming, but that's okay. That's the growth process. So we just go with it.
Oh, that's so sweet. Ho'omanawanui. Yeah, they say ho'omanawanui is patience, and remember we talked about this before that it is
Hmm.
an action of being prepared for what will come. So if you wait for the right moment, ikava akua, the time will come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that, and have a good night tonight at volleyball practice.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Is
you
it
so much.
raining on that side?
Yep,
Are you guys raining? Yeah, even us. It just came out of nowhere. Like, oh, it's raining now,
we're going into the makahiki
Yay.
season.
which will be good because you know why? The poor island is so brown. We need it to be a little bit more green on our side, especially. I mean,
Yes.
this is well worth. We need the rain. Yeah,
Yep. Kohala. Yeah. Kohala.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's
dry.
been dry. It's been really dry out here. It's kind of weird. And Waikoloa, unfortunately, is always dry. So we always pray for rain on that side as much as possible.
I think they buy the weather over there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why you
They
can't
only want
always
it at certain times and late evening when it doesn't disturb the visitors' outings. Yeah.
well, you guys have a good week, and we'll keep in
Thank
touch.
you.
Okay. Ahui ho.
Aloha.
Thank you.